Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Reverend Tim Higgins here at St. George's Episcopal Church. Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, friends, it's Monday before Christmas Eve, and we are very, very excited here to be celebrating the birth of our Savior into our midst, a God who loved us enough to become one like us, who chose to be one like us. I begin my reflection today with a simple story of a grandmother who would invite her granddaughter over to her home on a regular basis, and they would bake cookies. They would do arts and crafts. They would hang out and just chat. And every time the granddaughter would come over, Grammy would light a couple candles in the window. Her granddaughter would ask specifically, "Grammy, why do we light candles and put them in the window on Christmas Eve?" And Grammy would pause and stop and say, "Dear, we light candles to put them in the window on Christmas Eve to tell the darkness, I beg to differ. To tell the darkness, I beg to differ." Friends, as we gather today, we look to the prophet Isaiah and we reflect upon the fact that Jesus, as light in the darkness, is to come into our midst, and he's going to tell the darkness, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. The prophet Isaiah speaks to the fact that the people in darkness, deep, deep darkness, have seen a great light, and that light is Jesus, the very Son of God who comes into our world. We don't have to look far to see darkness in our midst. The darkness of isolation, the darkness of fear, the darkness of anxiety, the darkness of substance abuse and mental illness, the darkness of homelessness. There's darkness in our midst in the world that we live, but it doesn't end there. We have a Jesus who comes into our world to dispel any darkness in our midst. Jesus as our light dispels the darkness of fear. Jesus as our light dispels the darkness of anxiety. Jesus as our light dispels the darkness of stress. Jesus as our light dispels the darkness of homelessness. Jesus as our light dispels the darkness of substance abuse and mental illness. Jesus as our light comes into the world to dispel any darkness we find ourselves immersed in. Friends, I wish you a wonderful Christmas. I invite you to enjoy your time together with family and friends and to acknowledge church. It's a wonderful place for us to connect, to a place where Jesus also becomes for us that light in any darkness in our midst. Have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy. We'll be gathering here at St. George's on Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. I wish and invite you to join us. Have a wonderful week. May God bless you. Merry Christmas, folks. Bye now.